Hey guys, Mas Sajady here. Hope all are doing well. Happy Valentine's Day. A lot of things happening in the world today, which is really fantastic. You know, we get into Valentine, and it's supposed to be a love fest and all that, but I think there's a lot of hurt feelings in Valentine. So that's why we're going to be talking about how to truly fix your relationship. And Valentine's Day, since there's so much momentum in Valentine's Day, there's so much, say, clarity that comes through. A lot of times, again, people don't know how to use that clarity. My name is Mas Sajady. This is Mas on Sundays. I have other shows, by the way, the Moss Experience on the YouTube, on the Best You channel, and then also the Exponential Intelligence podcast for those who are new. What I'm all about? Well, simple. I've had 2 near-death experiences. I see this reality from a very different perspective, a very, very different perspective. Now, imagine if, society or human consciousness, you're in a maze. When you have a near-death experience, it allows you to, say, pull out of the maze. And that maze, if you want to, is about, say, space and time. It allows you to see how space and time distorts and disorients what you're seeing. So, and this is where a lot of, say, truth, there's so many truths out there. Well, they're all true. But then at the same time, they're all lies as well. So it's like, where do you go? What do you do? So the show is literally about how to decipher the layers or the levels that you're seeing this reality or consciousness at. So what the hell does all that mean? Well, if you've ever talked to somebody and they just don't get it, they just don't see your point of view, or they're like hallucinating, right? Those extreme people that just like, God, what world are they in? Well, this is the reason why, because the world that they're in is actually a real reality. I call it a simulation that they're in. And no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how much scientific fact that you can throw at them, well, they're not going to see it because, again, it's not about logic. It's not about data. It's nothing to do with that. It's about the simulation that you render yourself in. Right? The only way for you to understand the simulation that you render yourself in, because you think your reality is so true, just like everybody else thinks their reality is so true, is to step out of that reality. Now, again, I did it through a near-death experience. I've shown millions of you on how to do it without that near-death experience. And that's what exponential intelligence is about. This is where you become exponentially intelligent. This is where you actually get to see all the possible realities that are available to you, or the possible simulations of who you are that are available. And then you change into that simulation. It's like changing the channel. It's not about fixing your problems. Those things are usually, like psychology, rules, regulations, and how well has that worked out? It hasn't worked out in today's society, and this is where we are, why we are, where we are. It's about changing the channel. It's about changing the filters that you see this reality, and you'd be amazed at how, and comment in, those people who've been here before, comment in. How did you all change through exponential intelligence? Was it a mindset change? Did you go, oh, I think I'm going to be younger today? And then the process turned into you being younger. Or I think I'm going to be happier. Or I think I'm going to get, healthy from whatever disease, even stage 4 cancers and so on. Again, it's not a psychology. How did you change through? It was more of a realization, or again, switching or transitioning into a different simulation of yourself. For example, where you don't have cancer. Now, I'm not claiming that I cured cancer. There's a lot of people who have awakened and go, shit, I don't need that simulation of myself having cancer, and then they remove. Or, I don't need that simulation of myself where my kids are always in trouble, or whatever that you're running. Again, it's a simulation. It's not there for you to fix it. It's not there for you to learn anything about it. It's there for you to go, shit, this isn't the best simulation or the best rendering of why I want to experience life here. Let's fucking change it. And this basically, Moss on Sunday or whatever else I do, is on how to think, not what to think. And the key there is how to think, how to see yourself from a very, very different level. It falls in line with what Einstein was saying, by the way. He said that you can't fix any problem or find a solution in the reality that you exist in, or something to that effect. You have to step out of that reality. So, in XI, being exponentially intelligent is about you stepping out of that reality, so you see it from a very, very, very different purpose or presence. Again, comment in on many of you back in the day, right? Comment in. It's like, no, Moss, this is this way and this and this. And then, you did the work, you did the 18-day meditations, and your life transformed. And it's like, oh, that's the way it really is. And again, it's end results. It's not you change your belief or you have a different mindset and then you change. XI is very different. This is literally about, say, transforming, shifting again, the simulation that you exist in this, say, blockchain or consciousness. And then your life radically changes. And then your psychology changes. And then your belief system changes. And your emotions change, all that. And that's what I want to get to on how to truly fix your relationship. Because Valentine's is tomorrow. It's on, this is the 13th, tomorrow's the 14th. So happy Valentine's Day. But, over the years, and I've been there before, where you're in a relationship and just talking from personal experience, you're in a relationship and you're really not into that relationship. But then, we have that dogma. It's like, shit, now we got to buy flowers or get cozy, get comfortable. And it's really comfortable, right? Because what's happening, it's happening to many of you. And again, comment in on that, is that the truth in your relationship comes through. So why is that? Whenever you have a birthday, whenever you have, say, an anniversary, in this case, there's billions of people who celebrate Valentine's Day. It's a magnifier effect in exponential intelligence physics. So what is a magnifier effect? It's an opportunity for you to better yourself. So let me say that again. A magnifier effect is an opportunity for you to better yourself. You're getting into a better situation. Hey guys, we are back. Sorry about that. And just like always, we could do a perfect pre-production show, but the key is that it's about frequencies. And I want this to do live, especially for you all who are waiting to get scanned and see what's going on with your life. So again, thanks for waiting, guys. Thanks for your patience, getting back on track. Don't have a lot of time today, unfortunately. I'm trying to catch a plane, but we're going to do the best we can, again, to get as many of you people scanned. So let's jump on the topic on how to truly fix your relationship. So I was talking about the magnifier effect, right? So Valentine's is a magnifier effect. Wealth is a magnifier effect. Love is a magnifier effect. So let me explain what that means to you. All right. And we'll make it an experiential learning lesson here. Let's take a deep breath in, and I'll work on you at the same time to help you reclaim what you want in relationships, no matter what relationship it is. Take a deep breath in again. Just notice your spine. Notice the base of your spine, the small of your back, your tailbone, your hips. And no, this isn't hypnosis or say normal meditation. Many of you can feel the frequencies that I'm generating, and that's why I want to do this live for you. Although you can feel it on a recording, we do that as well, but it's just better live, especially for those new people who's not sure. And thanks for taking the bold step to transform your life. Breath in again. All righty. So, magnifier effects, very simple. And I'll give you a real life example. Okay. You're having a great time, right? You meet somebody new, you're having a great time. And then, you go, shit, I'm starting to have feelings for this person. I think I'm falling in love. What's the first thing that happens when you realize that you're having feelings and you're starting to fall in love with that person? Okay. And the first thing, outside the magnifier effect, I want to go, how is love defined for you, by the way? Okay. But we'll put that aside. We'll talk about it in just a couple minutes. But the magnifier effect, it's like, gosh, I'm falling in love with this person. What's the first thing that comes into your mind? All the insecurities, right? It's like, oh shit, what if they find out about, I don't know, I snore, when I'm sleeping, or this happens, or what if they find out about my past relationships, or how many past relationships I've had? What if they find about this? What if they don't like the parents? What if the parents don't like me? What if the culture differences, there's some ethnic culture or some, color and I'm not, and all those things, right? All the frequencies, all the insecurities come through. That's a magnifier effect. It's not there to destroy you. That's the key. Let's just say that God loves you all. Okay. This isn't a world where you're supposed to dodge bullets or anything like that. The reason why that happens to you is like, hey, congratulations. You're going to that next step of understanding who you are, because that's what love is about. It's not, hey, can that person fix me? It's not about that. So you're doing your natural tendency. More people should follow their natural tendencies, especially when it comes to immunity, by the way, right? Using your own natural immune system to boost yourself and keep yourself safe. But it's another topic as well. But back to the magnifier effect. So the reason why all these insecurities come up is like, you know what? If you stay at this higher level called love, again, compared to where you are, you're stepping into a grander version of, you have to take the responsibility of doing X, Y, and Z. And that responsibility of doing X, Y, and Z is clearing yourself up, letting go of the baggage that's now that you're seeing at full force to help you stay there. Otherwise, it'll become a burden for you. And then what happens to people, right? They hide. They hide all their bullshit. They justify all their garbage. It's like, well, I'm just going to tell them this story so they can feel sorry for me, kind of a victim mentality and so on like that. But I'm just going to keep whatever baggage that I need, whatever abuse patterns and all those things that I want to bury inside. So what do we do with that next relationship that we have? We just bury it deeper inside, or we cover it up, or we try to escape from it. And some of you even create a whole new different identity of yourself, going, well, that didn't work. I'm just going to move to another city, create another identity. But that stuff still follows you, still in your genetic makeup. And XI, by the way, you can create a whole new identity, a whole different, say, pattern of a whole different history for yourself. By the way, you can do that at a genetic level, but you can't just do that just to say, move, I'm going to go move somewhere else, or I'm going to change who I am. And then poof, I'll represent myself as somebody else. The past follows you. So a magnifier effect allows you to say, wow, this is the stuff that I really need to let go of. Wow, this is what all that stuff that shows up. It's like, that's probably why the reason my last relationship broke up, or the last relationship didn't work out. But what do we do? It's like, no, that stuff is still me. There's no way, no one's figured out how to say change those things that are, say, inherited by us through society, through social media, through, family patterns and all that. Just give me 1 second. Excuse me, pickle in the throat. Nobody knows how to remove it. So it's like, well, just shit. That's just the way it is, right? And that's why, say, Moss or, Moss on Sunday or anything that I do, somewhat controversial. But it's because it's a whole different way of thinking. It's a whole different way of processing information. So the key is on this Valentine's Day, especially if you're not feeling, say, the best about the relationship, especially if it's like, shit, another year, I've wasted myself. I've wasted my life. I'm not getting any younger. This relationship doesn't seem to go any better, but I'm going to go buy the flowers. I'm going to go do that. I'm not saying not to do that. I'm just saying it's like, well, ask yourself these questions, and this is how to, say, replenish yourself. Okay. So what's really missing in your relationship? We'll talk about that, how to replenish it, and then how to keep it. And we'll just take a few minutes to do that. It's really quick. Take another deep breath in. Still working on you all, noticing, say, all those patterns that are removing from you. After this talk, you'll probably start to realize, say, the weaknesses or insecurities of your relationship coming up. So again, I urge you not to go, hey, I listened to this guy Moss, on his Moss on Sunday show, and then all this shit started to show up. Again, you can relate that. That's totally fine. But all that shit that's starting to show up has always been there. We're just exposing it so you can get rid of it. That's the key. The key is this Valentine's Day, when stuff starts to get exposed for you, don't bury it. That's the number one thing. The reason why love doesn't work out for you is, one, you have an ill-defined version of love. Okay. For you, love, if you are running from a pattern where the only way you got love or you got attention was that you succumb to your parents' needs, right? You forced yourself to turn or transform into whatever your parents wanted, right? So what do you do in relationships? You turn and transform into that, whatever that person wants for you to feel love. See, that's an ill definition of love. Other ways is like, people get abused, or they get yelled at. But any other time, especially if you come from alcoholic or abusive type family value structures, all the other time they ignore you. They didn't even know who you were until they started to yell at you or until they got drunk, and then they started to notice who you are, and it's like, you little rat, you're the cause of my problems, and so on. So you've associated love or attention to being abused, being, say, not observed. So what do? You attract a relationship that dictates that kind of love is present for you. And again, so one, understand how and why you see love. And then the other aspect of love, again, what's missing in your relationship is like, I just want people to love me for who I am. That's fucking not going to work. It doesn't work out. You don't love yourself for who you are. Why would you want somebody else to keep you bound to where you are? You want somebody to, again, expose or help you understand. And it's not their job, by the way. It's your job through the relationships that you've had, whether it's parents, whether it's siblings, whether it's friends, whether it's lovers, whether it's whatever it is out there, a higher connection. It's like, what is it in me that's allowing to have these relationships show up in my life this way? So the best way to do it, how to replenish it for yourself. Again, you want to write this down. And if you don't, that's fine. It's your life. But you want to write this down, put it on your fridge, on your window, on your bathroom mirror, if you're that type of person. Okay, whatever it is, goal set. Okay, the one thing that you should put on there if you want to fix your relationships this year is, what is it in me that's allowing this relationship that I'm in to happen? So what pattern is it in me, just to get more specific? Again, and maybe my team can write this down for you on the comments. What pattern is it in me that's allowing this type of relationship to come into my life? Or what is it in me that's allowing this type of experience for me to have this type of experience, or for me to have this type of relationship? Again, what is it in me? What pattern am I running? Okay. And that's even more succinct. What pattern am I running? For you who blame people. So for you who blame yourself, everything that happens, and again, I'm just reading the masses and I'm just working on you as well. A lot of you blame yourself. You succumb, you shortchange yourself, and then you become a victim. And then that relationship, say, doesn't work out for you. And it's like, shit, I did everything for them. I sacrificed everything. And yet, well, it's because you need to sacrifice everything to feel love. So if you did fall in love, you'd have to remove the pattern of sacrifice to stay in love. That's the next key. How do you keep it? Well, again, you ask yourself, what is it in me? What pattern am I running? What algorithm am I running that's allowing this relationship to, say, survive in my reality? And just keep asking yourself that. You'll go, oh, it's because of this. And it's like, okay, that's great. You even might want to write it down. It's like, okay, is there something deeper? And just asking, is there something deeper? Don't fall for the first instinct, because again, that's a logic level. You just want to go deeper. You want to go deeper because there's layers upon layers and upon layers. Most people focus in on the surface layer on why their relationships isn't working or anything else in life. But again, we have to stand back. We have to move away from, say, the filters that we're seeing our life and see it from a very different perspective. Look at your friend's perspective, right? How many of you have been in relationships where your friend said, don't go there, but you went there? You didn't see what they were seeing until, say, you broke up, and it's like, oh, damn, now I see what you were saying, right? How many of you have been there? So that's all I'm asking, guys. It's just a natural, say, way to think. Again, how to think, not what to think. So stand back, observe. What's your parents seeing from, say, this relationship? How does your friends, your best friends, this relationship? And actually take it in. Right? And if they're wrong, that's totally fine. But at least you're seeing their version and seeing what they're seeing in it. Even if they're wrong, again, it allows you to see it for what it is, right? Not just your piece of pie, that may be disoriented. So let's take a deep breath in again. How to keep it? Well, you keep asking yourself. So once you're in a good relationship, and again, so I've talked about, say, bad relationships, right? Or how to get out of that relationship. By the way, if you ask that one question, what is it in me? What pattern is it in me that's allowing this relationship to fruition, to continue on? You would be amazed at all the stuff that naturally happens underneath, especially if you're doing, say, the 18-day hyper meditations coming up March 7th, I believe. So take a look at that. It's the fastest way to transform your life in 18 days. Even on the first day, many people transform just on the essential, the very basic 18 days. That's how powerful it is. Let's take a deep breath in again. And just notice your lungs, notice your chest. So for those people who do have good relationships, how do you keep it timeless? Many of you have seen Faye and I, and many of you go, shit, I want that. We've been together for a long time. And no matter where we go, people go, oh, are you guys on your honeymoon? And yes, we're always on our honeymoon. That's the key, right? How do you keep it that way? Well, you don't focus in on that other person. That sounds selfish. It sounds crazy because everything else is like, yeah, you focus in on that other person. But when you strive to be your best, again, by asking yourself, because the deeper understanding or the deeper, say, genetic value on why you want a relationship in the first place is for you to understand yourself. So let me say that again. The only reason you do anything, but in this case, relationships, right? Not to understand the other person. It's about you understanding yourself. It's about you understanding, say, your physical platform, your time-bound body, and then your, say, timeless presence or your limitless self, or some of you might call it your spirit, but spirit is so ill-defined. I don't like to use the word spirit. So the key is like timeless self, time-bound self. What is it, or how can I benefit in this relationship, this intimate relationship that I'm having, to get closer where I become a oneness being, singularity, as I would call it? How do I connect? How can I have that deeper connection to myself? So if you want to keep it timeless, where, lovemaking, connection, just hanging out, not doing anything, not like, let's go to the movie, let's go do this, like keeping yourself busy because you're too uncomfortable, with the quiet moments, right? Like for example, again, Faye and I, we can just sit somewhere, not do anything, and we'll be comfortable with ourselves. Most people can't handle that because when you're quiet, when there's nothing to do, all the weaknesses in your relationship come through. Again, it's a great opportunity for you not to destroy yourself, destroy the relationship, but ask, it's like, why is this coming up for me? What can I do about it? What programs or patterns am I running that's allowing all this stuff to happen to me? And just sit there. And you'll see a lot of stuff starts to change, not at psychology level, but at your genetic or cellular level. It's quite amazing how fast transformations happen. But the next step, again, for those people who are happy with their relationships, you could be happier. It's like, what is it in me? What is it in me? What programs am I running? And in a very short time in the scan in the next minute, I'll basically tell you, it's like, hey, this and this and this is happening. So I can just do it, instantly for you from the near-death experiences that I've had, that I also teach people on how to do it. But you keep asking yourself, it's like, hey, what is it in me that's, that disconnect? How can I get closer to my limitless self? Okay. And that, I would say limitless self or timeless self, because that bypasses all the religious values and the spiritual values and all those ill definitions that, that aren't worthy or isn't, say, correct for you. Okay. So it gets you removed. How can I connect to my limitless self even more, or my timeless self even more, or my purest present even more? If you keep asking that, you get closer and closer to yourself. You would not believe how much better you treat that loved one, because you're treating yourself at a high level. You treat your loved one at a high level. You get what you need. They get what they need from you. And it's amazing synergy, by the way. You help, like for me, I help Faye, and then she rises up to her level. I see that, oh, she's in a better level. It's like, gosh. And then it's just a tag back and forth, and we get higher and higher and higher. So throughout the time, many of you, again, who experienced Faye and I, or even like close friends, right? You get closer and closer with your friends. What is that? Why doesn't it decay? Because you're in a timeless realm. You're always connecting to yourself. Again, you remove yourself from time and space, and it becomes really freeing for you. So hopefully that helps, guys. Just because at a time, let's jump into analyzing or scanning you all. Okay, and again, my abilities, basically, I can tap into anybody. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know your your real name. I don't need to know your picture. It doesn't really matter. I am in a very complicated relationship. Not really. But the underlying key, the underlying factor why you're in a complicated relationship, if it's not a relationship, it's a situation that you're in. If you're not in a situation, it's a health issue that you're in. So again, your pattern is that life has to be, say, complicated or difficult for you to experience being here complete. It goes way back to your, in your lineage, where again, you had to work, say, your parents or grandparents and so on had to work their ass off, and that's what they believed in, right? Religious value systems. And again, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying there's all consequences to your beliefs. Simple as that. Okay. If you don't like your consequences or the bottom line, change your beliefs. Simple as that. So again, for you, what is it, Greta? Very complicated relationship. It's not. You just don't. You have no focus. Right? You're always. Again, one aspect. Again, religious values. Right? If you didn't say, work your fingers to the bone, for example, work your ass off, and if it comes easy for you, you're not going to value it as well. Simple as that. So relationships have to again, kill you literally for you to feel good. Or again, you have to sacrifice a hell of a lot to, feel that love at a very minimal level. You change that equation. Simple as that. You change the equation, and that's what I do for you rather fast, again, on the 18 days or even, we're coming to London and Ibiza, by the way, in I think late June. by the way. So take a look at that, and we can do private sessions there. You can you go to some of the lectures and understand it, some of the events. We had a huge event here just last week, Heal Yourself, Heal the World, transformational. Day one, first meditation. Again, people radically, you could see them in there, you could see it in their faces. So again, that's how fast people can change. But again, back to whoever, Greta, again, have focus. You get into a situation, you almost solve the problem, and then you go, well, that problem, that solution is not going to work. You don't know because you never finish, right? And then you go to another issue, or you go to another solution, and again, another solution. So again, just take some time, by the way. It's not that complicated. And again, ask yourself, I would love a scan. This is Elizabeth. Again, if I read you, if I analyze you, by the way, guys, if I tell you anything medical, I'm not a medical doctor or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I see. I could be totally wrong, absolutely totally wrong. But statistics show that I'm really not. I'm pretty accurate. But consult your physician, doctor, and whatever. If you want to, or if you ask to be scanned, then you allow us to use this on public forums. So again, don't ask to be scanned and then later on go, hey, take it off YouTube. No, we're not going to do that. Again, if you don't want to be scanned, then don't ask me to scan you. So if I do read you, again, comment in on how accurate I am. Not for my sake, I know I'm accurate, but for your sake to go, shit, what did he tap into? Where's that, say, database that Moss taps into? So you can tap into it. This one, I feel stuck in my relationship. Yes. So this was it GIA, Maroon. So basically, the reason why you feel stuck in your relationship is because when you start to, and this is a magnifier effect, when you start to, say, get into deeper, and it's not just relationships, it's businesses or situations that you start to feel comfortable with. Okay. So you fall in love, right? And then over time, what'll happen is that you'll get stuck in your relationship. And basically it's, say, like you're stuck, right? And then there's mud that's just getting filled up. And at first an attachment feels good to you, right? Because it's like you've got something, you're holding on to your identity. It allows you to solidify in time. And imagine yourself, take a breath in, whoever this is or whoever else that is similar to this pattern. Imagine yourself, right? You're walking in, say, like ankle deep mud, right? And it feels good because in the past, before it was ankle deep, you didn't know what you were walking on. You needed solidification, or it's like, shit, where the hell am I going? Type scenario. So you walk into ankle deep mud, it gives you a little resistance, and it's resistance about time and space. Okay. It gives you a little resistance. It's like, oh, wow. Now I know where I am, right? Now I can feel what's happening to me. And then over time you fall in love, and then the mud gets up to your knees. It's like, gosh, it's a little harder to walk. And then it gets up to your hips, and now it's up to your neck. And this is where you feel trapped. It's like, shit. Well, it's not the relationship. Again, it's falling in love. Falling in love, it's the magnifier effect. It allows you to go, shit, you know what? I connect to relationships, and this is your issue. I connect to your relationships because if I'm not connected to anybody, I feel like I'm dying, or I feel like my life is worthless. I feel I have no, say, reference points in my life. I feel like my life is slipping away. And what's actually happening for you is that you cannot stay consistent in time. So again, you would have to latch on to somebody. So at a physical level, this person, Jaya or whoever that is, scanned through, again, you would latch on to somebody. You'd you'd meet somebody and it's like you're all in with that person. Again, because that person, and you might think, well, I like the way they look, I like their ideology. It's not about that. It's that person can, say, help you stay into it. They're like a stake. They plant you in space and time, and you'll feel good because you're not slipping away. But then you actually are slipping away because time, they've staked you in the present moment, but then the present moment is the past. So, and this is where you feel stuck because you're here now. You're stuck in a moment in time, right? And then time is moved over. So it's like, shit, I should be over here. So again, you need to, say, plant yourself in present moment time, the train of time. The train of time is always moving with time. It's not stuck, say, in a specific time and date. That actually goes back. You almost were lost, by the way, being born, birthing. Your birthing was very, very difficult, and they almost lost you. So that pattern of almost losing your life is still running your life. Okay, I can help you with that. It's literally a quick session for you, by the way. By the way, if you're doing sessions, guys, there's a long wait line, so bear with me. We're starting to do bigger group global sessions, as I call it, where we don't have to have a one-on-one for me to help you transform your life pretty much instantly. This is Christine. Can you please scan me? Family relationship is changing. Absolutely. A lot of you will start to see that as you change, as you listen to the 18 days and all that. Your identity changes. Family relationships start to change. Again, this is real change. When you change at a psychological level, right? Like right here, if X happens, I'm going to react by Y. Right? If you change at that level, do you notice people around you don't change? You're forcing people around you to change, and it never really works. But when you change at an XI level, at a frequency level, what happens to you is like, shit, why are people treating me differently? Sometimes people treat you, say, worse because they can't control you anymore. Simple as that. Sometimes people treat you a lot better. Again, after that initial phase, people treat you a lot better because you have more respect. They have more respect. You have more love for yourself. You can give more love to yourself. Okay. And again, just running out of time, guys. I got to catch a plane. What we'll do is on one Moss on Sunday, we'll just dedicate it most of the time for you all to be just analyzed or scanned. Okay. This one for Jessica Booth. Will I scan on my relationship? So your relationship, Jessica, you attract men that feel like your mom. Simple as that. And that's why you end up running a masculine pattern, right? You're the caretaker. You're the say you're the responsible one. Somebody else could, provide security and all that stuff. But again, you're the emotional, say, caretaker. Again, and you would attract people, again, more of a feminine or basically people that treat you like your mom. So again, now that you understand that, and by the way, I'm not just analyzing you, and I'm actually working on you to understand that pattern at a deeper level for you, and then dislodge it. And you'll see it's like, oh shit, I married my mom or connected to my mom. And you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 relationships that you've had, how they've turned into your mom, basically. That's the reason why. So what is it in you that's allowing to go, hey, I need intimate relationship that turns out to be like my mom, and you go, shit, I never knew that. This one, I did the THR and would love to understand my dynamics better with a scan. Thank you for the Sundays. You are so welcome again, Nick. And this is the last, guys, because I have to scoot. So Total Human Reset, it was on relationships. If you haven't done it, again, it's still as powerful. It changes your, literally a lot of people are saying that it changes their genetic makeup. Again, we need more evidence on that, but that's what people are saying, which is fantastic. It's dieting, again, food plans that get you in shape, because that's what you want, right? A better, more attractive being, not just physically, but internally. So food plan, exercise plan, and then also frequencies that transform you at a genetic level, I would call it. So for you, Nick, you did the THR. A lot of things are releasing from you. So you're at the level where you've pushed things away, which is really fantastic. Basically, what's happened is that you've elevated yourself to a higher level, and you're observing yourself from a higher level going, wow, that's how I, relate in relationships. That's how I relate when I'm by myself. This is how I relate with my father. Your father is a big thing for you, Nick, right? You can never get that satisfaction no matter what the hell you do.